When I turned 13, my parents thought it would be a great idea to leave the city behind and move to a rural area in the woods. My sister Zari and I were not thrilled about leaving our friends and familiar surroundings behind, but our parents promised us a new adventure and a chance to connect with nature. Our new home was a cozy cabin on the outskirts of a dense forest. We didn't have many neighbors, but we soon met Mr. Watson, a sweet old man in the 70s, who lived in a shack about a mile away. He would often visit us, bringing gifts and stories of his adventures in the woods. We enjoyed his company, but as time passed, his visits became more frequent, and he started asking for favors: milk, eggs, sugar. My mom would always oblige, even when we were running low. To give you a background of my family, my mom is a teacher who works 8 hours a day, even on weekends, while my dad is a surgeon who leaves before any of us wake up to go to the hospital and work 12 hours during surgeries. When he does come home, he goes in his lab, which is in our basement. He never allowed us to go in there and had this lock with a code we didn't know of. He didn't really have any friends, and his best friend died because of a murder. When that happened, he moved us here to this rural woodsy area and never allowed us to invite or even talk to anybody, especially my mom. He also forced me and Zari to be homeschooled. Since Mr. Watson came in the afternoon and my dad came mostly at 8 or 9 p.m., my mom just told us to keep it a secret because she wanted to help him since Mr. Watson was old. One day, I was home alone with my sister when Mr. Watson knocked on the door. I answered, expecting him to ask for something, like garage tools or flour, but he asked for the most terrifying thing: a human heart. I firmly told him no, but then he started decomposing right before me and Zari's eyes, and then turned to ashes, which blew away in the wind. We were shocked and terrified. We didn't know what to do or who to turn to, but then some woodcutters passed by, and I asked them about Mr. Watson's shack. They told us that an old couple had lived there a decade ago, but the husband had died during a failed surgery, and the wife had died of grief soon after. We didn't say anything when our parents got back, because they wouldn't believe this crazy story, and anyhow, I couldn't tell our dad about Mr. Watson. So when me and my mom were alone, she asked us about Mr. Watson and why he wasn't here anymore. We just simply told her that he just moved far away and cut contact with everyone for his peace. Thankfully, she didn't ask further questions. A few weeks went by, and me and Zari were playing inside the house. We came across the basement door, which we realized was open. We were naive at that time and got curious. We snuck into our dad's lab, which was always off limits to us, and what we found was beyond disturbing. There were organs from different people, labeled with pictures of their faces, one of them being Mr. Watson. Why though? It became clear that our dad had been experimenting with transplants, using organs from deceased patients to create some twisted version of immortality. Zari also looked at the jars and noticed bits of skin and bottles of blood. One of the jars had an eyeball, and the name was his best friend. Apparently, he found out about the lab, so my dad had to kill him and move us here so no one else found out. There was also a page where he was going to use me and my sister and my mom for his illegal, twisted experiments. I told my mom, showing her evidence as well. The authorities were called and our dad was arrested. Our mom was devastated, but she quickly realized that she had been living with a monster. She divorced him, took everything he had, and moved us to the city. As we settled into our new life, we couldn't shake off the horror of what our dad had done, but we were grateful to be free from his twisted experiments and his rural laboratory of horrors. One question remained, though. Why did Mr. Watson come knocking on our door? We have a conspiracy that he haunted the shack for a long time, searching for his missing heart and seeking vengeance for what happened to him. To this day, I wonder what could have happened if me and Zari didn't figure out my dad's secret. Would we be part of his experiment? I shudder to think about it.